Someday you should think about traveling to Vattenfell. A fascinating land, if I do say so.
What do you want?
Demands success! Find the Oracle!
Those Daedric monstrosities. First these Daedric aberrations and now you? What trouble has Oracle Mariv dredged up this time? The Great Mage? That doesn't surprise me. He's always had a peculiar fascination with Mariv's talents. My sister prefers her solitude, but we come by occasionally to check on her. When I arrived, the Daedra were everywhere, but Mariv wasn't here. Interesting. I noticed fresh ink on one of her parchment sheets. I think she was writing something when the Daedra appeared. This vision must have been special to attract the attention of those unnatural creatures. Perhaps, but there's no evidence of violence here. No, I think she sent her message and escaped to a place of safety. Probably the old weird site in what is now the mines of Chorus. It's a good place to hide. Seek Mariv there. Be careful. Those old mines may be abandoned, but that doesn't mean they're empty. Meanwhile, I shall tell my sisters what occurred here.
Reachmen in North Glen? This is terrible.
this isn't the dumbest strategy I ever heard, I don't know what is.
You're just the type Sergeant Anteve is looking for.
You look capable. I could use some help. If you aren't afraid of a ruthless, dastardly scoundrel. Let me start again. I represent Cyrodiilic Collections. a society dedicated to finding, retrieving, and restoring lost treasures of the Argonians. Our society consists of my sister, myself, and a few associates. We've been preparing an expedition to return the antiquities we've recovered to Murkmire, deep in the heart of Black Marsh. Unfortunately, our competition has become aggressive. One and the same, Margus Darius. He's a looter of history who cares only about profit. He was a member of our society until he stole our research and disappeared. I need you to infiltrate the nearby Outlaws' Refuge and find out what Margus is up to. While I've never visited an Outlaws' Refuge myself, I have it on good authority that all manner of ne'er-do-wells frequent such places. Scoundrels, black marketeers, and smugglers of ill repute. Just the sort of company that Margus keeps. Talk to a few more connected rapscallions that conduct business down there. I know a few of them by reputation. Look for Grathal, an information broker. Urzashi, an antiquities black marketeer. And Ashundir, a historic treasure smuggler.
Open for business.
The river flows so slowly, much a living soul. It has been so long. To walk the river again, it is so strange and so sad. I and the other Saxley have not returned willingly. We Argonians were slaves to the Chimer in our time, as I sense they can be today. Even in death, we serve our cruel masters, slaves to their will. The Chimer would not willingly release us to Aetherius. To set their souls free on the river, you will have to destroy the Keepers. If you would do this, you will find me on the road away from here. I sense something I must see for myself.
The smell of brimstone is strong in my nostrils. Even as a spirit, this place smells of ash and death. Have you done as I asked? You are very kind. Strangely kind for a place like the Ashlands. I stand here, tasting the air, and do you know what I've learned? You who swim the river should beware. The Ashlands pretend to change. The scent of freedom is on the air, but those who would return you to your cage walk free. They eye you like treasure, eager for a return to the old ways. My brethren are safe, and the Ashlands bubble with hope. I pass now down the river to swim in the currents of Aetherius. Go well in your own passage, traveler.
Fear the fury of the unliving.
You've arrived. So, let's begin. By your bones, I compel you. Serve us, spirits.
Fool! You don't have the power to compel me.
Vivek, guide us. His scream, so much pain. Is it done? My brother's spell bound them to guard Darthan's watch. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be like torture. It worked. But this was necromancy of the blackest sort. My brother. It was his work. And I, swit that I am, helped him. Necromancy. He tricked me into doing Molag Bal's will. I knew his studies pushed the fringe. It must have been that circle of mages he's taken up with. He thought I didn't know. Unsavory types, disbarred from the Mages Guild. I was going to find out the truth. You should investigate. They meet in a cave near the southern camp. don't like the look on your face. What did you find in that cave? Sacrificing our own people! This monstrosity must stop! The commanders at Darvan's Watch must see this immediately. And I must tell them about Giron.
Where is that blasted lizard? I remember when I'd hunt here for days and not see a soul. The war was on and people stayed behind walls or stuck to roads. Those days are behind us. Like I said, I was hunting. But now that the volcano's erupted, I'm headed to Deshaun. Don't want to get cooked. I'll be leaving as soon as my swit of a partner shows up. You haven't run into an Argonian named Stands in Stillwater, have you? He's a good friend, but he never shuts up. Nothing still about him. He was supposed to meet me here, but I've waited too long already. If you're heading north of Ash Mountain, can you keep an eye out for him? He should have a camp up there. Thanks. Not many willing to help these days, especially a dusty Ashlander like me. We'd planned to rest up at the Darvanus' farm near Cragganmore before passing through the Deshaun Gate. He should know it. That's right. Though, in truth, I have no clan. I make my living hunting and trading. Stillwater and I try to keep to the wilds and stay out of the way. They're alive and well, but that's a longer story that I don't have time for. Stillwater is a bit of an outcast himself. He escaped House Drez as a slave before the pact was signed. I think that's why we've stuck together for so long.
Well done. I am Shalador, young one, and I think you'll do nicely. Return that book to the lost. Tell her fire will show her the words.
Another stranger swims into our wallow. I erect the spine of distress, egg sibling. We have need of your aid, but I'm sure you already felt it as you approached. We have a hist here, and it's dying. It's dying. It was never healthy. This isn't Black Marsh after all. So in the last few weeks, it's withered. We've learned that House Drez is poisoning it. It's not enough to have enslaved us for generations. Now they want to carve our hearts out. The best we can do is fertilize it. We're using mud crab meat wrapped in ashreed. Both are common around the quarter. We've also set guards around the tree to keep the Dunmer away. If you wish to aid us, gather the items I requested. Ashreeds grow in the tide pools in our quarter, and mud crabs thrive on the shores nearby. Gather some of each and present them at the roots of our hist. Some of our people heard a dark elf talking to others of his kind. He asked if they'd seen the Drez rowing out to our hist tree. He saw jars of poison in the boat. That's not hard to believe. Ravel Urano. My people overheard him at the inn. He was drunk and talking too loud. No one spoke to him directly. It's never been wise for an Argonian to confront a dark elf, especially lately. We're far from Black Marsh. No, but it's not difficult to believe, is it? The Drez think we're little more than animals, but the Pact freed us. What they can't enslave, they destroy. The Drez have always regarded Argonians as little more than savage children. We needed to be civilized, so they uplifted us by putting us to work as slaves on plantations and in mines. No more. Now we speak beside them in the council. What do you have there? We are allowing no one to approach the hist, especially strangers claiming they wish to help us. We just caught a dark elf trying to poison the tree. Your words smell fair, but tasting is proof. Let me see what you have there. Yes, I erect the spine of apology. While you were away, we caught a dark elf defiling our hist. Please, apply the fertilizer you've gathered to the base of our hist. As long as I'm with you, the guards will let you through. One of our guards is escorting him to my lodge. He seems half mad. He was doing something to the tree, and apparently he is of House Drez. Let this one through.
You're not welcome here, Dark Elf.
Back at my lodge. It seems we have proof that the Drez are trying to murder our tree. While you were gathering mud crab meat and reeds, the guards caught him trying to harm our hist. We can't get anything out of him but his name and house. Seems the rumors were true. House Drez is trying to murder our hist. He was scratching at the bark, licking our tree. When the guards shouted at him, he dropped an empty bottle. Now he's very ill. The truth is as plain as the face of Masser. You may do as you wish, but his mind is boiling. His words skitter like a mud crab in a pan. You will gather no moisture from this one.
I feel so hot. The mud outside was so cool. Could I go lie down? What did I do? What did it do to me? I see. I feel. I'm awake. I touched it. It smelled like flowers and black earth. It tasted like rain and summer wind and the deepest green. He said the tree's sap would be better than skooma. He was right. He said the Argonians might be angry. Do you think they're angry? To me, they always look angry. It's the teeth. He gave me the bottle, said it was for the tree. I thought it was skooma. I tasted it. It was bad. I fed it to a lizard. He didn't like it either. He died. The bottle broke. How can I fill it with sap? I never saw him before. I asked him for coin to get more skooma. He was a Dunmer. Someone called him Bravil? Weevil? Wabberjack? Ravil, that's it.
Ravel? I can't believe it. Ravel. Ravel Urano claimed he saw House Drez poison our history. Then he gave a bottle to this tree-licking waste of flesh. I smell worm scat. Someone has been playing us for fools, and I no longer believe it's House Drez.
I hope your arrival will prove a boon to Ebonheart. The residents are at each other's throats. Beyond, no one will work together. Each faction has a different reason. Which would you like to know about? The Nords in town are lumber traders from the Rift. You might have noticed a lack of trees. When they asked Raelgar Stonecrush to help defend the town, he accused us of being fancy. I assume that's an insult in Skyrim. Also, I think he was drunk. Our people love fighting. It's our nature. We fight the land just to survive. Only the Dunmer's natural superiority allows us to flourish in this wasteland. Lately, our people have been demoralized. Even disciple Sildrus at the Tribunal Temple expects defeat.
Can't be. They wouldn't. I have no reassurance to offer. Do what you think best in the time remaining.
I am a disciple of the Tribunal. My people come to me for comfort, yet I have none to give. The three are silent. I lift my voice, but they do not answer. The Covenant circles Ebonheart, and I cannot even pray for wisdom. The Tribunal punishes the people for my faithless ways. The shrines to Almalexia, Sothasil, and Vivek are surrounded by a foul smell and angry Aelith. Please, do what I cannot. Burn these flowers at the shrines, then pray for Ebonheart.
Burn the flowers at each shrine. They're a rare variety of gold carnet called Roland's Tears, and are sacred to the three. I pray they hear you.
My Lady Almalexia bids you carry a message to Disciple Sildrus. The Tribunal does not abandon their people. Just as a parent shelters children from dangers they cannot comprehend, the three shelter the Dunmer from threats beyond their ken. Tell him that my lady is mindful of his doubt and fear. There is no shame in either, so long as he helps others bear their burdens. By helping others, his fears will be allayed. But if he spreads his despair, my lady will chastise him.
The city of Ebonheart welcomes the penitent. Death begins to look good.
Trading here.
Speak. All prayers are heard, not all are acknowledged. Every small cog drives a greater gear. Each is necessary, otherwise the whole collapses. When any cog shivers from the stresses on it, the master feels it, but the load he assigns it is no...
I appear at my lord's behest. Or perhaps I was always here, and you, actions carry conviction better than words. A skilled poet arranges for others to be where they should be, when they should be, to fulfill his needs and desires. Yet the question Sildras asked was not the one in his heart. A man of poisoned words put doubt in Sildras's heart. He said the poet is less than he once was. Tell the disciple that Vivek's words and wit and way of war are as keen as always. What is Vivek beyond these?
I can feel the blessings upon you. It's a power I've not felt myself for many years. I see. I hadn't considered there might be threats more grave than the Covenant invasion. You would think, given all we know of the treachery of Cold Harbor, that I would see that. What of Sotha Seal? I am ashamed. The three have shown more faith in me than I have in them. I dread asking this, but what of Lord Vivek? Ha! Yes, I should have known. Vivek is the most subtle of the three. It's true, I've been counseling a Dunmer who questions his faith. He told me the Tribunal are losing their powers. Only indirectly. We see the three less every year. They no longer make their annual pilgrimage to Red Mounting on Vardenfell, and no one knows why. It all seemed so convincing when he said it. His name is Ravil Urano. He hasn't come to pray for days now. He was in such despair, I think he'd even stopped bathing. The last time I saw him, he smelled terrible, like fresh offal. What? Have I been a fool? I questioned my faith for the flimsiest of reasons and caused others to question theirs. I have much to do to correct my failure. I wish I knew why Ravil Urano's doubting words were so compelling.
Why me?
Honor for the pact, they says. Hardy ha ha, I says. What brings you to this god's-forsaken dark elf dunghole? The beer in this land is fit only for pigs. Good thing we brought our own. Have the elves asked you to help beat back the Covenant yet? Duh. To Sovngarde with them. Aye. The milk drinkers landed to the west at that big yellow tree thing. Now the Dres have got their skirts in a twist. Oh, please save us, big strong Nords. Fancy lads, the lot of them. They think Nords only exist to save elven asses. Bring them on. We don't skeever out of a fight. When we're attacked, we fight. I wager you think we should fight for the rest of the pact. All right. Prove they've got some backbone. Let's see you beat 3 of my men, and do it the Nord way. We fight drunk. We've got a keg of fine, strong mead from Riften right here. Pour yourself a mug and get to it. Unless you're too fancy, of course.
I signed up to guard these wagons for the money. And guarding's the only thing I take money for. You got that? You could only beat me if I was blind, stinking sober. And I'm not. Try to put up a decent fight. Than you look.
I tried the drink at the inn, but I think I'll stick with our own mead. Ugh, I can't take this local stuff. It's made out of mold or something. You're clever, you are. Let's see how well you take a blow. Come at me! I yield, friend. Good fight.
Care for a drink? Care for a drink?
This should be fun.
Stop. I need more mead. Well, you're not half bad, I'll give you that. I said I would, and I don't go back on my word. I hope the rest of the Pact fights like you, not that milk-drinking Urano. Ravel Urano, that dark elf here before you. He kept asking to buy our lumber so we'd leave town. I told him no, we had a contract to keep. But he offered to double it. No one pays that much for wood. Even good rift spruce. What a skeever. Don't know and didn't ask. His story smelled like last week's fish. Whole time we were talking, he kept looking around for a crack to ooze through, sweating like. The boys ran him off with a few light cuffs to the head. He hasn't come back since. Right. Things like that. They're exactly why we keep to ourselves in the Elven lands. That and the bad food. Anyway, you're all right. Tell that fancy Othrol we'll fight. Come back and drink with us again sometime.
The hero of Davon's Watch.
Have our town's fortunes improved? That's a great relief. Well done. The Covenant troops haven't left their encampment to the west, but it's only a matter of time before our inactivity encourages them. I don't know this, Mer. Why would he cause so much trouble? Perhaps he's an agent of Sheer Gorath. That's an unpleasant thought. The Daedra of Chaos is worse than any mere Covenant army. Can you aid me further? Ravel must have a house in town. I'd like you to find it and watch him. I'd like to see myself, but I'm sure he'll recognize me. So I'll need to cast a spell on you. Commoners would call it a scrying spell, but I'm beyond such crude hedge magic. It will enable me to see and hear what you do. Furthermore, I'll be able to speak to you. Search for Ravel's home. I expect it's on the west side of town. You should be able to hear me now. There he is. Let's follow him.
Hey, Ravel! No waffle today. The temple's forbidden all sales.
Quiet, fool.
I paid you for your discretion, remember?
Only the finest merchandise.
Look here. It's that fancy saw was in our camp. Hey, fancy man. Fallen on any swords lately? Saying we shouldn't help the Dunmer? Like a Nord would ever turn down a fight.
The drunk one took your advice, Silver Tongue. He now regrets it. For shame.
It was just idle talk, friend. I assure you, I had nothing to do with it.
He went into that shack. Wait for him to leave. He's out. That was fast. Try to get inside that shack. Communication spell. Let's see who Ravil called.
Ofer. What now, Ravil? So you're the meddler who undid all of Ravil's work. Such a waste of my time.
That woman wore a Covenant uniform. Ravil must be working for the enemy. Go to his house and see what you can find. I'll send my guards.
You won't take me. Cornell gave me potions.
guards heard fighting. I assume you found more inside than just evidence? Having him alive might have been useful, but having him dead is just as good. The ritual items in the shack on the docks and his belongings might tell us something more.
Ah, my business partner. I've located another rare and valuable vintage here in Ebonheart. Are you willing to acquire it for me? There's a bottle of white gold tower here in Ebonheart. The war wizard who owns it retired to this town and opened an inn. Phaedrasa Andrethi took the bottle off the battlefield. Now it's gathering dust in her private reserve. She was a decorated soldier in the Ebonheart Pact. Now she tends to guests at the Ebony Flask. Her Nightflower servants probably know her best. If you want to know how to get that bottle, talk to one. Just let me know what I can do to help. She used to serve in the Morrowind army as a war wizard. I think the explosions were too much for her. After she retired from service, she opened the Ebony Flask with Darvinil Sarvel. Not exactly, but then again, that's your side of this business, isn't it? My only advice is to talk to the Nightflowers at the inn. In their line of work, they learn all the best secrets. Just let me know what I can do to help.
How about a little game of chance? I have terrible luck, but that's bound to change, right? Lady Phaedrasa. I don't care for her, actually, but the money here at the Ebony Flask is good. If it wasn't, Amia and I would have cleared out long ago. She's just too jumpy. They say the Akaviri War made her twitchy. She's easily startled by the strangest things, like lizards. Those lizards infesting the Argonian quarter drive her crazy.
Will you be staying in Ebonheart long, Sirio? I'm sure we could make your stay more pleasant. I don't hate her, but there's no love lost between the Nightflowers and Phaedrasa. She regards us a necessary evil. She doesn't even partake of our talents. Plus, she's incredibly jumpy. My guess is she's caught one too many fireball blasts in the war. She still hates loud noises. There's an alchemist next door who's constantly testing flash powder and sulfurs. If she hears so much as a pop, she jumps right out of her skin.
You have a look about you. Some sort of quality that's rare to find. And trust me, I'm never wrong about these sort of things. Can I interest you in a room at the local inn? Actually, wait, that came out wrong. Look, empty rooms are just bad for business. The upkeep alone costs me more than the place is worth. But I think we can come to a sort of arrangement. And not the sort of arrangement that involves a few drinks, let me be clear about that. I need someone to improve the reputation of my properties. A hero type who people look up to. And I have a feeling about you. You've done something great and are probably on the way to do something greater. Seems like we can help each other here. Yeah, all right. Details. I can see how this might be a bit sketchy, but don't worry. The inn room is well kept, conveniently located. I know you adventuring types wanting a home in every town. this would be a nice addition to your holdings. No catch. I just need someone to freshen up my image. And my gut tells me you're the one to do that. As long as you're not planning on turning it into a skooma den or an outlaw's refuge, the room is all yours. Oh, sure. You can set up some crafting stations, house your pets, display any treasures or trophies you've come upon in your adventures. Hey, you can even set up a target dummy to practice combat. Just don't demolish the place and we're good. Excellent. You won't regret this decision, I swear. Here's the deed and key to the room. Took me a while, but I finally was able to take them back from the last tenant. Required more time in the sewers than I had hoped for, but hey, that's business. Hope the room is to your liking. With your reputation, I'm sure you shouldn't have any trouble with the neighbors. If you do, remember death threats are not the way to go. Had a spot of trouble when my last tenant started sending those out.
In my mind I see us sway as we kiss, sway as we kiss.
Smell. Did another stinking lizard get in here? Get away from that! Get away from that!
My time is precious.
Back to the shadows, fiend! The Akaviri are upon us! To me, troops! Back, you devils!
What's that distinctive bottle I see peeking from your pack? Masterfully done. Truly a procurement worthy of praise and reward. It's an honor and a privilege doing business with you, friend.